Good afternoon. My name is Dan Scripps, and I am the chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission. I call this meeting of the commission to order on December 1st, 2023 at 1:05 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
Present?
Commissioner Peretick.
Present.
Commissioner Carrion.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Today's meeting is being held in person at the Commission's office at 7109 West Saginaw Highway in Lansing, Michigan. We're also hosting this meeting remotely using Microsoft Teams. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. If you are participating via Microsoft Teams, you may also turn on the live captions by clicking on the More button at the top right of your Teams window, then clicking on Language and Speech from the drop-down menu, and finally clicking on Turn on Live Captions. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose the remote connection, the Commission will not recess, but will continue in person. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comments via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in today's meeting agenda. We'll have the opportunity for the public to make comments as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comments are limited to 3 minutes and one per person. If you'd like to make verbal comments, you must do so in person or remotely through Microsoft Teams or by calling into the meeting by phone. For individuals attending in person and who want to make a verbal comment, please fill out a comment card like this one. Comment cards are available at the front near the table, or front table near the podium. For individuals participating remotely by Microsoft Teams and who want to make a verbal comment, you may click on the raise hand button at any time to be queued up for comment. For individuals participating remotely by phone and who want to make a verbal comment, you may press *5 at any time to be queued up for comment. Public commenters on both Microsoft Teams and on the phone are added to the same speaker queue and will be called upon in the order they enter the speaker queue. Please do not lower your hand or press *5 again, or you'll be removed from the queue and lose your place in line. And to minimize disruptions, attendees participating by Microsoft Teams or by phone will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. The first order of business is approval of the agenda for today's meeting.
I move for the approval of the agenda for today's commission meeting.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The agenda is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the December 1st, 2023 commission meeting.
I move for the approval of the minutes from the December 1st, 2023 commission meeting.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the December 1st, 2023 commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The commission meeting minutes of December 1st, 2023 are approved. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of orders and minute actions on the consent agenda, and today the commission is assisted by staff attorney Leah Arndt. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 6 communications matters, 5 electric matters, and 3 gas matters. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The orders and minute actions on the consent agenda are approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A1 is case number U-12270, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion, directing the Commission staff to collaborate with electric utilities and cooperatives to develop a dedicated form to be used in annual report filings pursuant to the Commission's rules on service quality and reliability standards for electric distribution systems, and requesting comments and reply comments on the draft report form. The order before you approves the report form with modifications that is attached to the order as Exhibit A.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-12270.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-12270 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A2 is case number U-18350, which involves an application filed by Alpena Power Company requesting ex parte approval of its voluntary green pricing program. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-18350.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-18350 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A3 is case number U-18356, which involves an application filed by Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation, requesting ex parte approval of its voluntary green pricing program. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-18356.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-18356 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A4 is case number U-20165, which involves an application from Consumers Energy Company requesting ex parte approval of an amendment to its power purchase agreement with Jackson County Solar LLC. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20165.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20165 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A5 is case number U-20757, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to review its response to COVID-19 and to provide guidance and direction moving forward. The order before you reviews the Commission staff's March 16, 2023 report and recommendations and the comments filed on the report, extends the timeline of the Energy Affordability and Accessibility Collaborative through calendar year 2024, and directs the Energy Affordability and Accessibility Collaborative to continue to work on its current directives, as consistent with this order.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20757.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Chair, I have a few comments. As Ms. Arndt noted, today's order addresses the recommendations made in a report filed on March 16th and calls for the MPSC's Energy Affordability and Accessibility Collaborative to continue its work under the Low Income Energy Policy Board through 2024. I want to thank the MPSC staff, numerous organizations, and individuals for their commitment in crafting the report recommendations since the Commission issued the original COVID-19 response order for case number U-20757 in April 2020. The Low Income Policy Board comprises representatives from different sectors to foster a robust collaboration, drawing from the Energy Affordability and Accessibility Collaborative, the MPSC Energy Waste Reduction Low Income Workgroup Subcommittee, peer leaders in state government, related task forces, individuals with experience in energy security, and MPSC staff experts. The board's efforts have been instrumental in informing practical solutions to break the cycle of crises and utility shutoffs. Our aim is to establish a system that supports consistent, affordable energy programs for Michigan residents in need. Through this case docket, we have requested metrics, data, and insights to advance equitable policy development and better understand outages, shutoffs, and arrearages. A significant outcome of this order that I'd like to highlight today is the adoption of a clearer definition of energy affordability. The definition we cite in the order is intended to help guide the development of assistance programs that can ensure households meet their home energy needs without compromising access to other basic needs. Equity remains at the forefront of our agenda, integrated across the processes necessary to conduct the Commission's work and enabled by many leaders like our own Equity Inclusion Officer, among others. Various sections, divisions, and individuals within the Commission take responsibility for outreach and engagement activities, ensuring a strong feedback loop is in place with groups like the Low Income Energy Policy Board. We eagerly anticipate ongoing collaboration with the Board, as well as all interested parties, and are dedicated to working together to prepare and provide the necessary resources to advance our DEIJ and equity efforts and address any institutional or cultural barriers that have historically inhibited or might hinder our progress.
Thank you, Commissioner Carrion. Is there any additional discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20757 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A6 is case number U-20959, which involves petitions for rehearing of the order issued in this docket on September 8, 2022, filed by Consumers Energy Company and filed jointly by DTE Electric Company and DTE Gas Company. The order before you considers comments received in the docket and the Commission staff's recommendations and completes the Commission's answer to the petitions for rehearing.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20959.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Chair. I would just like to thank all who have participated in this case. There's a considerable level of expertise and substantial rigorous analysis required to get to the point of the order that's before us today. It's been a long process to get this right, starting with the My Power Grid work group and multiple orders, comment periods, and much discussion along the way. And it's important that we get this right. Data transparency is necessary for equitable access to information and the ability to improve upon our system. But it's equally as important that increasing transparency does not compromise safety and security of our customers or their data. I'm cognizant that with the rapidly changing technology, changing public awareness, needs, and expectations, as well as that the legitimate needs of various interested persons may conflict with the legitimate needs of other interested persons. We must carefully weigh and balance our decisions as we have in the order in front of us to ensure reliable, affordable, safe, and accessible energy for Michigan's future needs.
Thank you, Commissioner Peretick. Is there any additional discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20959 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A7 is case number U-21152, which involves an application filed by Upper Peninsula Power Company requesting ex parte approval of its voluntary green pricing program. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21152.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21152 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A8 is case number U-21173, which involves an application filed by Northern States Power Company, a Wisconsin corporation, requesting ex parte approval of its voluntary green pricing program. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21173.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21173 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A9 is case number U-21377, which involves an application filed by Indiana Michigan Power Company for certificates of necessity pursuant to MCL 460.6S 3B and D and related accounting relief. The order before you approves the application, grants the certificates of necessity, and grants the related accounting relief as described in the order.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21377.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21377 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A10 is case number U-21388, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to open a docket to collaboratively consider issues related to the reliability and resiliency of the electric power system in Michigan in a Commission-sponsored technical conference. The order before you recaps past and ongoing Commission activities related to improving resilience, provides further direction on resilience initiatives, and provides an opportunity to file comments on issues described in the order.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21388.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Chair. I would just like to make a couple brief comments. Increasing the resilience of our state's electrical distribution system is crucial. Earlier this year, we hosted a technical conference with this goal in mind. How can we cost-effectively increase the resilience of our power grid against the increasingly frequent and severe storms that we're experiencing? For me, listening to this technical conference, one of the most important messages conveyed was the importance of communication. Communication with utilities, with local government officials, with utility customers, with vulnerable populations, and really with all who are affected by outages that are caused by severe storms. This is building on top of a broad suite of other initiatives that we've launched in recent years focused on improving the reliability of our grid. And the order before us outlines a number of solutions for improving resilience, including requiring meetings with local government officials and emergency response teams to discuss improvements to communication protocols between utilities and governments during outages and extreme weather events. Explanations of and ideas to improve customer communication protocols and strategies and timelines to improve accuracy of information provided to customers during outage events. And identification and prioritization of critical customers to increase options and resources for identified critical facilities, such as schools, hospitals, nursing homes, and community centers to address outages. I'm looking forward to seeing these items implemented.
Thank you, Commissioner Peretick. Is there any additional discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21388 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A11 is case number U-21400, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to commence a work group for the consideration of financial incentives and penalties as they relate to the reliability and resilience of the electric power system in Michigan. The order before you directs the Commission staff to convene an additional engagement session with interested persons to discuss proposed revisions to the financial incentives and penalties set forth in the revised straw proposal. The order also schedules a comment period on the proposed revisions to the straw proposal and other issues that will conclude on March 1st, 2024. The order directs the Commission staff to file a report of the work group's investigations and findings in this docket by May 3rd, 2024.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21400.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21400 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A12 is case number U-21500, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for ex parte approval of its expedited pilot review work plan. The order before you grants the application.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21500.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21500 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A13 is case number U-21509, which involves an ex parte application filed by Alger Delta Cooperative Electric Association, Cherryland Electric Cooperative, Great Lakes Energy Cooperative, Homeworks Tri-County Electric Cooperative, Midwest Energy and Communications, Ontonagon County Rural Electrification Association, Presque Isle Electric and Gas Co-op, and Thumb Electric Cooperative of Michigan for waivers from the reporting requirements contained in certain subsections of MISH-Admin Code Rule 460.732. The order before you grants the temporary waivers.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21509.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21509 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4A14 is case number U-21538, which involves, on the Commission's own motion, the opening of a docket for the purpose of receiving transportation electrification plans from certain regulated electric utilities. The order before you directs DTE Electric Company to file a transportation electrification plan no later than January 11th, 2024.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21538.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21538 is approved. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4B1 is case number U-21516, which involves an application filed by Semco Energy Gas Company seeking ex parte approval of a waiver from certain tariff requirements and approval of the company's implementation of special customer class credits. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21516.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21516 is approved. And last, I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 4B2 is case number U-21517, which involves an application filed by Michigan Gas Utilities Corporation seeking ex parte approval of a waiver from certain tariff requirements and approval of the company's implementation of special customer class credits. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21517.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21517 is approved. Our next item of business is the year in review for 2023, something that we do every year, but this year is extra special. Because with roots that go back to the Michigan Railroad Commission, the MPSC and our predecessor agencies have long played, since 1873, a significant part in ensuring access to the services that are essential to modern life and commerce. Just like the industries we regulate, this year came with its own opportunities and challenges. Opportunities and challenges I believe we as an organization tackled with the professionalism and zeal that I've come to view as the norm from our talented team of staff. We've accomplished a lot this year, and I want to provide just a few highlights. First, casework. Casework is the bread and butter of the work we do here at the Commission. We set rates, approve long-term utility plans, approve infrastructure siting, and make many other decisions through the case processes. In 2023, the Commission issued more than 345 orders, including 4 orders on utility rate requests and 2 integrated resource plan approvals. On infrastructure, the Commission approved 2 IRP plan applications, as noted above. The first was Indiana Michigan's IRP, which was approved in February. The IRP, I&M's first, included commitments by the company to procure new carbon-free resources, to increase energy waste reduction savings, and to increase its spending on energy waste reduction programs targeting low-income customers. The IRP also identified a 750 megawatt capacity need that would be determined through a certificate of necessity proceeding. The Commission also approved DTE's most recent IRP, which featured a number of retirements and conversions of existing facilities, coupled with acceleration of renewable energy development in order to reduce emissions while ensuring reliable energy generation. The settlement agreement also included a requirement of donations to organizations assisting low-income customers with bill payment or energy efficiency needs, among other items. And earlier this month, the Commission issued its final order granting Enbridge Energy's application to relocate the straight segment of Line 5 into a tunnel under the lake bed. On reliability and resilience, throughout the course of the year, the Commission held 4 technical conferences to explore issues of reliability and resilience, including a 4.8 kilovolt technical conference which explored issues relating to the oldest parts of DTE's electric system. We also hosted, as Commissioner Peretik described, a 2-day resilience technical conference in May, which was the topic of the order issued today. And the final technical conference of the year was focused on the DTE Distribution Grid Plan Technical Conference, and that was held in August. The Commission also kicked off a comprehensive third-party audit of Consumers Energy and DTE Energy that was directed in U-21305 to review all equipment and operations of the 2 utilities distribution systems. After the issuance of a request for proposals, the Commission announced the selection of Liberty Consulting as the third-party auditor, and that audit is ongoing. And finally, in late September, DTE Electric, Consumers Energy, and Indiana Michigan Power Company filed their 5-year distribution infrastructure investment plans. The Commission invited public comments on the plans. Those comments are due beginning in January and are unique to each of the 3 utilities. On telecommunications and broadband, in May, the Commission approved an area code overlay for Detroit's iconic 313 area code. With the 313 area code projected to run out of unassigned numbers in 2026, Commission action was essential to ensuring number availability, and an area code overlay meant the area code geography would not need to be split. So those with 313 numbers will not see their numbers changed. The MPSC also continued its efforts to support broadband expansion in Michigan. Our telecommunications staff participated on the Realizing Opportunity with Broadband Infrastructure Needs, or ROBIN, grant program steering committee, which is responsible for $238 million in broadband projects. Staff also participated on both the Connecting Michigan Task Force and the Michigan High-Speed Internet Office's partnership roundtable discussions. In terms of advocacy and involvement with regional grid operators, the Commission also continued our engagement and advocacy work at the federal level, including with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, and our two grid operators, MISO and PJM. These efforts focused heavily on transmission planning, reforms to generator interconnection queues, and market transformation. We also were actively involved with federal engagement on grants through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act and the Inflation Reduction Act, where we've played an active role in developing and supporting federal grant applications that would further reliability, resilience, economic development, and other projects and programs across the state. In total, the grants awarded so far to Michigan utilities will result in approximately $245 million in grid investments, with half the funds coming from the federal government. We've also been active, as Commissioner Carrion described earlier in today's meeting, on equity issues, including the Commission's Low Income Energy Policy Board, which celebrated its one-year anniversary in April, while continuing its important work of helping to guide the process of holistically assessing energy affordability and accessibility by linking energy waste reduction and energy assistance programs. The board met 11 times in 2023, and many meetings included presentations focused on opportunities for incorporating equity into this work. We also issued a final report in the My Power Grid initiative, which was launched in October of 2019 and is a focused multi-year initiative supported by both the governor and the commission to maximize the benefits of the transition to clean distributed energy resources for Michigan residents and businesses. The final status report was submitted to the commission in April of this year, which marked the official conclusion of the initiative. Over the course of 4 years, commission staff hosted more than 70 meetings across 17 work groups, which drew attendance from 386 separate individuals and resulted in 75 separate commission orders, including some that we issued still today. So while the final report on the initiative has been issued, significant work is continuing, including in the financial and incentives and disincentives work group, which is working to develop metrics to tie utility earnings to utility performance. Ninth, the Commission was active in fulfilling tasks assigned to us by the legislature, including earlier this year announcing the first awards of the Low Carbon Energy Infrastructure Enhancement and Development Grant Program, which was established by the legislature in 2022. And this year, the legislature established a new Renewable Energy Infrastructure Enhancement and Development Grant, and the RFP for that was issued earlier this week. The legislature also directed the Commission to conduct a nuclear energy feasibility study, and a work group meeting is scheduled for January, where the consultant working with us will provide participants with an overview of the draft report. And finally, the Commission was also active in reviewing and providing input and recommendations related to the recently passed Climate and Clean Energy Package that was signed by the governor in November. The Commission is reviewing the legislation and expects to provide information regarding its implementation in the first quarter of next year. And last but not least, the Commission had the opportunity to host the 2023 Mid-American Regulatory Conference. It was originally scheduled for Michigan to host in 2020, and this annual conference brings together regulators and staff from 14 states, from Michigan to North Dakota and south to Texas. The conference provides an opportunity to meet with and discuss with our colleagues, industry professionals, and members of the public on issues vital to the energy, telecommunications, water, and broader regulatory space. So not only has 2023 been a busy year, but it's also been a year that marked 150 years of regulation for the MPSC in the agencies in which we have our roots. Throughout the last 150 years, the Commission and our predecessor agencies and the dedicated men and women who have steadfastly served them have certainly faced challenges. But we have also seen and seized tremendous opportunities with which we have been faced. 2024, no doubt, will be a year of change, possibly of challenge, and definitely of opportunity, as we continue many of the efforts begun this year and embark on the implementation of the legislation enacted in the fall. We're excited to continue our service to the public by ensuring safe, reliable, and affordable energy and telecommunications services at reasonable rates, not only into 2024, but for the next 150 years. And before we leave our year in review, I want to take one more moment to thank my colleagues and the Commission staff for their work and dedication over the last year. The Commission's vision is to be a best-in-class regulatory commission, and your efforts make that a reality every day. So thank you for all that you've done this year and for all that you will do next year. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season and come back rested and recharged, because we certainly have our work cut out for us in 2024. We've now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. As mentioned in the notice for today's meeting, we will take public comments in the following order. first from individuals attending in person and then from individuals participating remotely, either through the Microsoft Teams or the phone who have entered the speaker queue. I've got one comment card. It's for Carol Sanborn, so I would invite her to come up to the podium. And if you are interested in providing comment here at the meeting, encourage you to fill out a card. So Ms. Sanborn, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm from Lebanon Township. My name's Carol Sanborn. I'm here in opposition to MPSCU 21471 ITC transmission line Nelson Road to Oneida project. And once again here to voice my opposition to this line stretching from Grand Ledge to Carson City. Their plan is violating Public Act 30 by not providing an alternate route. Both routes converge to one route at Celine Har's property. There is no alternative route after that point. This is not right and against the law. If you approve this plan as written, you will also be breaking the law. I have spoken several times at these meetings and have given many reasons why an alternative route should be planned and executed around our section in Lebanon Township. I am giving it over to God as His will be done. You may reign and sit on your MPSC thrones and dictate what will happen during this time, but your reign on the MPSC will someday end. God reigns forever. I will pray for protection from the EMF radiation that all families along this route will endure due to the state's money-grabbing agenda to put this line and all solar and wind power projects on prime agricultural land instead of concentrating them on industrial sites, city parking lots, and warehouse factory buildings. This is nothing more than a land grab by the elites to run our state and countryside. I am once again pleading for this commission to follow the law and not approve this ITC project as it is currently planned. In regard to the power going out, I suggest that people do what we did 20 years ago when we were having trouble in Hubbardston. Every time a bird pooped on the line, the electricity went out, we went out and bought a generator. People need to stop relying on the government's help.
Thank you, Ms. Sanborn. We have a couple of individuals on the remote, the Teams dial-in. So Jim Malloy, you're first, and then Cindy Stevens. So Mr. Malloy, you have 3 minutes. Mr. Malloy, we can't hear you if you're speaking. You may have to press mute, or if you're dialed in, I think it's *6 to unmute. We are still not hearing you. I'm going to go to Cindy Stevens and have you go first, and then we'll come back to Mr. Malloy. Ms. Stevens, if you're there, you can unmute yourself. Seem to have some technical difficulties here this afternoon. Folks are speaking, we at least can't hear you in the hearing room. Either Mr. Malloy or Ms. Stevens, if you're there, you can unmute yourself. It appears that both individuals have put their hands down. Do they need to have their hands up? It's possible to raise your hand. It makes it easier to allow you to speak, but all right. Our crack IT team in their penguin sweaters is on the case. I love this time of year. Thank you for your patience. We're working on it. All right, I'm going to give this another 35 seconds or so to see if we can get this worked out. Apologies to both Mr. Malloy and Ms. Stevens. It appears that they may have left the call. Just for those who are participating, that you can also provide comment directly through the docket or to the commissioners at the email address mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov, and that email address is also included in the meeting notice for today's meeting. So if there are challenges in speaking, we still very much want to hear from you, and that's another option that you have. But with that, I think we'll close today's public comment period. A couple announcements before we close. Commissioner Carrion, I think you've got a special announcement.
Sure, I have two announcements. First, I wanted to remind those interested in the topic to add our upcoming EV Technical Conference on January 24th and 25th to their calendars. The conference will take place over 2 consecutive half-day virtual gatherings, and we posted the agendas for both days to the docket for case U-21492 just yesterday. We're looking forward to an interactive and engaging event that addresses how to go from pilot to permanent programs on transportation electrification. And then next, I wanted to give a warm welcome to and thank a few guests at our meeting today. They are local filmmakers and film crew members, Christine Patnugot, Razi Jaffrey, Amanda Tingley, Thad Sabalboro, Luigi Macairan, and Darian Pope. This team is working with the Asian Pacific American Center at the Smithsonian on a 5-part educational series documenting the Asian American community in Michigan. I'm very honored to be featured in the series as the first Asian American commissioner in our state's history. And I'd just like to offer up a concept in appreciation of our guests today and in celebration of all our intersectional identities, the Filipino word kapwa. Kapwa doesn't have a literal English translation, but it roughly means shared identity, equality, and being with others. So it can be thought of as the obligation we have towards each other. And so I'd like to conclude my thanks by sharing a beautiful quote from a writer from the Philippines who lives in the United States, Frankie Concepcion, who states, "I believe in seeing kapwa as an act. When we treat everyone equally, that is kapwa. When we do things for the sake of others, that's kapwa." So thank you to the filmmakers and crew for being with us today.
Thank you, Commissioner Carrion. A couple announcements from me as well. First, congratulations. It's, I think, a tremendous honor to be featured by the Smithsonian, and I'm certainly honored to be able to serve with you every day. So thank you. We also mentioned earlier in the meeting the audit that is ongoing of the utility distribution plans being conducted by Utility Consulting. We received their year-end report outlining some of the work to date, so more process than conclusions at this point, but that will be filed later today to the docket in U-21305, that, again, the preliminary report. Also, earlier this week, the Commission, I mentioned the Renewable Energy and Electrification grant program under the Infrastructure Enhancement and Development Program. And this, we issued the RFP earlier this week, so that is for $21.3 million in renewable energy and electrification grants. There's detail on our website for how to apply, and including the opportunity for 2 opportunities to seek clarification on the RFP. The first will be, the first inquiry deadline is January 11, with responses posted no later than January 18 to the grant program website. And the second inquiry deadline will be January 26th, and responses to those inquiries will be posted by February 5th. And then finally, the deadline to submit proposals under this program is February 21st, and there's more information on our website in terms of how to formally apply. And then just a couple of reminders. First, in September, the administrative hearing rules for practice before the Commission were updated. Several changes to the rules, including some additions, are now in effect, and practitioners before the commission are therefore encouraged to review the revised rules. A copy of the rules can also be located on our website. And then in October, the commission implemented a change in how tariff sheets are filed at the commission. Utilities are directed to file all new tariffs in the case docket as opposed to just providing them directly to the commission staff. You still can provide them to the commission staff, but we need you to file them in the case docket as well, as this new process will provide notice to all parties involved and add more transparency for the public. And again, a copy of the tariffs may still be separately provided to the commission staff, but formal filings in the docket is now mandatory. And then finally, this is the last regular commission meeting for 2023. The first regular commission meeting for 2024 is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, January 18th at 1 p.m. A formal public notice regarding the first regular meeting will be issued shortly after the new year. And as we have in past years, at our first meeting, we will adopt the commission schedule for 2024 that will provide greater clarity on the meeting cadence and when those will take place. And with that, this concludes today's meeting. Again, the next regular commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, January 18, 2024 at 1 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Paratek?
I move to adjourn today's commission meeting.
I second the motion.
We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the last meeting of 2023. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year.